Welcome to the Birthing Podcast. I am Kim, your host, and I have set out into the world to explore what daring to be sensitively wild in a world on fire can feel like. If you're here, it is probably because you too have been hearing the calling. A calling home to what it means to be human, interconnected, alive. A calling for change and responsible action in resonance with life. Let this podcast inspire you on your and our path into wholeness. If you want to set an intention, take a deep breath, pause, and let your inner verse speak. And when you're ready, let's dive in. Welcome. Today is a bit different. Maybe you can pick it up already. I feel very vulnerable and very out of sync, in dissonance. And I just had a meal. I was sitting outside and thinking, what can I do now? What can I change about my state so I can come back into attunement? And then I realized that I really wanted to show myself in this way, to make a statement that this too is welcome in my work, in life, in this world. And that we should create more space for welcoming in dissonance when it's there, because dissonance is as natural and as essential in this world as is resonance. And you can always refer back to the breath with all these polarities. Yeah, and there is rupture always, that makes us forget and step out of the rhythm we thought we knew so well. Basically, every time we think we know, that's when around the corner there's most likely a moment of rupture. And I really want to normalize it. I want to normalize me being here and still being able to show up for myself and for you. I hope that in me showing myself and perhaps also going through a process, this encourages you too. And I'm repeating myself. I notice that now that I'm showing up as with what is, and knowing that there is a receiving end, so feeling witnessed in some way is already softening something. And I feel like that speaks to care. That in moments of dissonance, yes, there is time for retreat and for attunement to that dissonance, whatever contractions, whatever pain we feel. And there are people, beings that are there for you too. So in some weird way, me filming myself, recording this podcast, and knowing it will go out into the world is already regulating. How dissonance shows up for me today is drowsy. I feel tired and empty of purpose. Like I look at seemingly beautiful things like the trees, and the sun hitting the green, and it feels so far away. The memory of how it actually resonates. It's like, yeah, there's a veil. Yeah. I also noticed that something inside of me is grasping. And still wondering if this is perhaps too vulnerable. Which is crazy to think. For me, this is sensitively wild as well. What about this is not acceptable? I really don't understand it. What about being in different states, in dissonance and fluctuations and sudden mood change? What about that is not welcome? I really don't understand. And the reason I like to use the word dissonance and resonance is because it's very subjective and it's really real. There are frequencies, and I believe, if you believe too, that everything is energy, everything has a certain frequency, then everything has its own pulse, its own rhythm. And the frequency of resonance is simply different than the frequency of dissonance. It looks different. It's like, for me, what resonance looks and feels like is whatever I am wanting to connect to, that frequency is equal or similar enough to mine to be able to synchronize and create a harmonious wave, resonance, vibration, a dance. And that is when I feel most connected to life. That is when I feel most connected to myself. And when there's dissonance, it's like it's a rupture to those waves, and something suddenly goes faster or slower, or it's just higher, lower. And honestly, it's because we're comparing the dissonance to the previous frequency. So we did not acknowledge that there is change happening. So it's almost like dissonance is the moment we hold on to wanting to be in a rhythm that is no longer actuality or reality, or that still is reality, but now we have changed. And so we're riding on another wave that might be lower or higher, however you want to see it, or just faster or slower. So the art for me of dissonance, it just helps to say it because like things are just coming through. The art of dissonance is to fully accept myself in this feeling of dissonance and write the frequency that arises with dissonance, because there is another beautifully painful, maybe, wave waiting to be attuned to. And I'm also, something that's coming up right now is also, yes, there are frequencies that keep us in loops, like rumination. And these are more mind states for me. I feel like I'm talking to not necessarily the mind states. Or yes, actually, I'm also talking to the mind states. The thing is our judgment of those states. Yeah. Now, another voice is coming up with caution that there is suffering from being in dissonance, severe suffering, and I just want to acknowledge that too. There is severe suffering from dissonance and staying in states of dissonance. And it seems to me that the reason why we stay in dissonance is because we don't accept parts of it, perhaps, or over-identify with them. We don't give space to change. I think that's the key, the gold in it. Something eases when I lean into the hard fact that this too shall pass. Something softens, that is not bypassing, that is not soothing, like out of numbness, but out of deep acceptance for this is how I am here right now. Let me try and be with it, and let me try and see what it wants to show me, what it wants to teach me. And here a little side note, which I so appreciate. The last few days I've already been in this state, in this frequency, in moments of dissonance, and accepting that I am in that right now. And I had a call with a friend, and I booked the wrong train ticket for the wrong day. And she told me that, hey, you just paid a coaching session to the universe. And the dissonance was gone. I know this is very much a mindset thing in this case, but it really helped to allow the change to be, to see lost money as a gift, to see emptiness as a teacher, and to always, again and again, root down into what's there. Yes, if you want to breathe with me, if you know and feel what I'm talking about, then feel free to just sit with that, with however you're showing up right now. I know that that's welcome too. I'm welcome. And it feels vulnerable to say these things, to welcome myself in front of you. And it feels so right. I want to see that more in the world. So short and sweet. Thank you. That's nice. I'm looking at myself right now. Learning to strip away the layers of performance.